Oh hell no.
So you was just out there, huh?
Yeah, I was enjoying I was enjoying the bond.
I got you. I got you. Hey, we put it on the bond and the fellowship and anything else. We can put it on other than. Oh, you doing okay though, man?
Yeah, I'm not complaining, man. Not complaining.
About, you about ready?
Let's do this.
After you get them stretches out, you need to get them out next week when your board. Oh, you gonna need it then.
No doubt about that.
He said, no doubt about that. Oh, okay.
It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go. Roger.
And with the coach, Mickey Clayton on INSiiGHTS. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
Rick.
Yes, sir, sir. Yes, sir.
the game day theme song from Game Day the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, same thing. School song. You're supposed to stand up for it either way.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Man, you live and rolling in the middle of the week. I hate to see you about Friday or Saturday.
Ooh-wee. Especially when I don't have to pull double duty. Yeah. I let my hair down and it's a little wild. It's a little wild at times, but I got to do it for the gram. I guess that's what they say, right? Do it for the gram.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. You got to do it for somebody.
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 Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, INSiiGHTS family? We are back for a great show tonight. What we got tonight, Coach?
Let's start it off with one of the terms that stayed with us from last week's show. Well, y'all called it a shit show. Talking about New Jersey. So what's really going on over there now? Without the coach and Kyrie, is he supposed to be apologizing? Was that an apology or what was it?
That was. Let me say what they want me to say so I can get my ass back on the court and stop losing money. That's what that was. That's exactly what that was, Coach.
Oh, but no, Kyrie act like the money not important to him.
Oh, gee. Yeah. Okay. What?
He lost half of it last year, didn't he?
Hey, what millionaire says that? The few that I know, I'm fortunate to know a couple. Every dime counts. So no matter what his mouth says, we know. We really know. And for whoever asked about the cup, you already know. You already know.
Sports diva on you. How about Kyrie out of there?
Oh yeah.
You must have had a Kappa shirt on one day because somebody sent me something said Rick needed to come out that Kappa shirt. I said, oh, there they go again. That was spoken by an alpha.
Coach, they may have been first, but they're not the best. I mean, just because you're first don't mean you're the best. Just because you're first don't make you a legend or legendary.
Okay.
Yo. Okay. I'm off my soapbox now. Off my soapbox.
I hear you. Man, INSiiGHTS is rolling pretty good. We starting to get some people that we've had some stuff to do with that are really doing some very, very, very positive things. For example, we got a young man that's like 6th in the NFL in rushing with 869 yards. And he's one of ours. I mean, we had him in one of our first games, Bainbridge County against Rickards. 50 carries and 329 yards. Rickards always like to tell me that they won the game. But just to give y'all just a step back in the past about it.
Let's see how Florida and Kyle Trask, after throwing that pick, response. They run it, and Pierce breaks a tackle. Damian Pierce inside the 40. Pierce to the 20. Pierce to the house. Touchdown Gators. 75 yards. Well, we kept telling him to run the ball.
Now he's got one, bounces outside. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and Pierce lunges his way down to about the 2-yard line. Damian Pierce. He's good. Knocking on the door, 1st and goal. Ball is resting at the 8-yard line. And Damian Pierce in the backfield. And here we go. They give it to Pierce, and Pierce is in there standing up, untouched.
We just saying. We just saying. Damian Pierce. And now, and you know what his handle is on Twitter? IRep229.
Yep.
They tried to get him to change his handle. He said, "No, I'm from Bainbridge, and that's how I represent."
That's what's up. Never forget where you come from.
One of his agent is a former Rickards football player. We working as we speak to get him on INSiiGHTS. You know, it's kind of hard to beat those connections. That's how you get done what you're trying to get done. Now let's move a little bit. Tell me, what's your thought now when they're saying that Willie Simmons, head football coach at Florida A&M, is a leading candidate for the University of South Florida job?
I don't know if that's the place for him. You talk about stepping stones, and we hear that a lot about Dion, Coach Prime. But every coach, every major college coach or coaching job isn't a good job. And sometimes you may have to just say, hey, I'm living pretty good where I am. Maybe I need to stay here and wait for the right opportunity. If that's
wait a minute.
what he wants to do.
You don't think
that's what he wants to do.
You down there, so you don't think that's a good job?
No, I
Why?
don't.
Why?
I think after Jim Leavitt left, Jim Leavitt took the program from nothing and built it where they got as high as number 2 in the country. And then the people, the administration, the fans believed that USF was on a level with Florida, Florida State, Miami. 1 year doesn't do that. You have to have consistency. After Leavitt left, it hasn't even been a roller coaster, Coach. It's been an elevator going straight down. And they haven't righted the ship yet. They've tried different coaches. Every year is someone else. And then they fired Scott this week. I just think they need to take a step back and reevaluate what they want at that school. If I'm a coach, I'm not going there. Not yet.
And okay, let me tell you where I don't agree with you. One, most A&M people think that anytime we have a guy who's being considered for a job, they always think it's a lateral or downward move. You know, and I think that comes from sometimes our inflated impression of us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think South Florida necessarily a bad job. A team that's winning doesn't need a new coach. So most of the times when we get an opportunity, it's at a place that hadn't been doing well. If it was doing well, we would be considered. Sometimes we might be considered as a last resort. Let's put the minority coach in there and see if he can turn it around. Mm-hmm. You know, he signed a 4-year contract, but I'm sure he doesn't realize that means 2 years. And in 2 years, we can get enough booster money to buy him out. This is my piece with it. It reminds me, and I've said it on this show before, reminds me of Jimbo Fisher. Every year, Jimbo was FSU. He was saying there was an opportunity to go somewhere. Every year, he could sign a raise and a contract extension. Somebody was trying to get him to take another job somewhere. Always trying to get an additional money. That always kind of concerns me with coaches who always trying to do that. That's just me. And that's the perception that I get, that every year is another opportunity of another school knocking on the door. I can't begrudge a man an opportunity to upgrade himself because they're going to pay him a lot better than what he's getting paid now. And I think that a lot of the stuff that came out in the preseason was built or allowed to happen to use it as an escape route when the season was over. That's just my own opinion. You know, when they come in, everybody acts like this is their dream job and where they want to be at Florida A&M. They all walk in the door wrapping themselves up in orange and green for a couple seasons, then they roll it on. And I don't mind that. That's the difference a lot of times when you hire somebody from FAM. For most of the FAMU people, it is a dream job for them. There's nowhere else they want to be and be a head coach at the institution that they went to and played at. But for everybody else, and I can't say that I require that from them. I'm just, just the realistic view on it. And I'll be curious to see how serious this really is. The first thing that came out was John Gruden. I'm like, why would they do that? He hadn't even been a head coach in college like 30 years. In his last few years in the NFL, he didn't light that up. Let me make a power selection and make it seem like, we blow on the horn and be hot on the media for a little while. I don't think that's a good move. No. Wasn't Taggart at South Florida one time?
Wasn't who? I'm sorry.
Taggart.
Yep. He was here for a hot minute. I think he took him to a bowl game and then was off to Oregon, maybe? Somewhere like that.
He was a flavor of the month for a minute and jumped around for a little bit.
Yeah, he was the flavor of the month for a minute. You're right, and then they started losing a few, and then the flavor he got a little sour from the fan base down here and all the talk. He was a talk, all right, but it wasn't the talk that we like. So.
Okay, what do you mean? Tell me a little bit more.
Well, he just didn't. The people, like I said, fans down here, and I don't know other places as I've been down here all my career, basically. They think you have one winning season, and they think that, like I said, they're ready to make that jump, that they're on that level, and they expect 10-win seasons every year. And that is not the case. Not for a program that's not even 20 years or 25 years old. You have to build it. You have to build consistency.
Well, Central Florida built it.
Yeah, but they they've also been on the roller coaster the last 4 years, maybe, since they claimed their national championship in 17.
Yeah, but they're considered an upper level program and the largest state school in the state system now, with
They
all the
are.
students they have.
They are.
And they did a heck of a job building their program. I mean, UCF did an admirable job, and I don't really think it's that easy to get it and maintain it. That's just, I think it's going to ebb and flow sometimes, and
Yeah.
I think
That's college athletics.
all of our alumni and booster have to kind of understand that.
I agree with that. But UCF has also been around for a while, and they built up.
Division One football that long.
No, right. I mean, they started in Division II and 1AA, and they just built up. Where South Florida was in 1AA, which is now FCS, I guess, for 2 years, 3 years at the most, and then make that jump. It's hard. Well, we know it's hard to make that jump. I mean, even though they have the money to make the jump, you have to build boosters. And they build a program from scratch. You know, they just came out the gate, and then 3 to 5 years later, you're going to be a big time program. That doesn't work. So I just think they're ahead of themselves down here. I just think they expect more than was realistic.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on a little bit. The HBCU, the Celebration Bowl, is kind of reshaping itself, since it looks like South Carolina State is out of the running. They've lost 2 in a row, and North Carolina Central is now in the driver's seat. So a win this weekend, and we talked in the MEAC press conference with the coaches. The question that kept being asked was, how do you keep your guys focused with so much on the table? And everywhere they go, people are celebrating their success and filling their head up. And for a coach, that's a significant challenge to face. I remember the baseball coach, Jamie Stoops. I remember when he first came and they started winning and doing so well, and then they ran into a buzzsaw at the end of the season, and he took the blame for that. And I said, well, Jamie, why do you blame yourself? He said, because we didn't teach them how to win. He said, when you win, we have to now teach them how to handle that success.
Yes.
And so that's on us, because we didn't teach those guys how to handle it. And I thought that was a pretty significant statement. But you've been following the MEAC and the SWAC a little bit, because it looks like what's getting ready to unfold is North Carolina Central, who's having an outstanding season, against Jackson State.
Jackson State is the best team that I've seen. I haven't seen Central play yet. Hopefully on the new the Grio channel, or the what is it, HBCU football, their channel, I'll get a chance to catch a game or two. But I've seen Jackson State more than once, and they seem like a complete team. I don't think, and I think last year's loss to the Bulldogs, I think that got their attention a little bit as a program, and I don't think they're going to slip up again.
Okay. I think it's going to be an ambitious game for North Carolina Central. Got 2 young head coaches that see things a little different. So I think it's going to be one heck of a game if that ends up on what it is.
Yeah. As Prom says, play my music. Nah, I'm not betting against them. Nah.
Well, the other thing that came out of the press conference was Coach Prime said that after the Celebration Bowl, how come none of the HBCUs can receive bids to go to other tournaments? And he said, you taking teams that are 6 and 5, bowl eligible teams, and he said, they don't draw anybody. He said, if you put a HBCU in there, he said, you're going to draw everybody. He said, it's not, and he used us. He said, it's not FAMU and Jackson State, Bethune-Cookman, FAMU and Tennessee State. It's all the black colleges together will be pulling for who's ever in the game, which is true.
That's true.
You know, and so he told the writers and everything, he said, it's up to you. Y'all need to write it out and start it. He said, why can't these sponsors get a black college? Why can't they get an HBCU in one of these bowl games? Your thought, Rick?
So they will play like the let me think of a 6 and 5. They will play like a Temple or a Rutgers or someone like that.
He didn't say who they would play. He just said that some of these bowls should have a sponsorship that supports a black college as one of the teams in the tournament or one of the teams in the bowl game.
I don't know, Coach. I look at when the majority of HBCUs play their guarantee games. Now, granted, they are against the upper echelon teams, the Ohio States and et ceteras. North Carolina fan played North Carolina, although they played them well for a half.
Well, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's an ambitious idea, but I tend to think that when we get put in conferences that A&T is about to win their conference, Tennessee State hasn't yet, but they've gotten better over the years being in the Ohio Valley. And I think our coaches get better when they go against better teams and better coaches. So I think that we respond to those challenges, just like we did when the academic requirements of the institutions went up by the NCAA. It took our students a couple of years, and then they started meeting those academic requirements. So I just think it's a matter of an opportunity. We're not going to get a bid to go to the Orange Bowl because all those already predetermined that they're going to the conference runner-up and this and that. But with all those bowl games that are being played, there are some games that I think we can participate in and be able to play in. I kind of agree with Dion. And in fact, Dion says a lot of things that we've said on this show, but because you're not Deion Sanders, it doesn't go as far as it does when Primetime says it.
That's all right. I'll be Dion one day. We will both be up there one day. It's okay. It's okay. He had an NFL, a Major League Baseball career. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We didn't have that, but that's okay. We'll be fine. I understand I'm thinking immediately. I agree. Maybe down the line we would grow. We would get better. But things would have to be on equal level. I mean, scholarships, to get the players, the depth.
If you're gonna start whining and say we don't have the scholarships and the depth, they're not gonna let us play. We can't go in. If we get an opportunity, we just gotta play. And that's to me. And it was like I was mad with the guarantee games that they required me to play. And one thing I loved about Dr. Frederick Humphreys was that you could talk to him. And he said, Mickey. No, that didn't. He said, Mickey.
That's what he said.
Mickey. He said, I need to know how far the gap is between us and the major institutions. So I need your ass to play them so I can measure it and see. I said, oh, okay, that made sense. You know, I think, okay, your thinking goes along with people who say the A&M doesn't need to get a bid because they got blown out last year when they were in the first round of the playoffs and they got embarrassed. So what makes them think they deserve another chance? You know, we finished like we are. We're only a couple votes away from getting the top 25. Yeah, I think a bid, you know, should come again this coming year. How we will do, I have no idea. But I think it's part of what they do in receiving a bid that we qualify to do it. What I really would want to see is us put in what it takes to have a home game. I think that we could do a home game. One year, we came very close to submitting a bid for the home game. But I think in the end, it was like the week of Thanksgiving was when it was playing. And they thought that we wouldn't have enough people to go to the game. And a lot of us argued that people will come back to Tallahassee if we playing in the playoff game, And Thanksgiving on Thursday, they'll roll back in Friday for it, or Saturday for the game. So if we have an opportunity, I would like to see our institution be insightful enough to do that, to try to host a tournament.
Insightful.
Me. Yeah.
2 eyes?
Yep. That's me now.
I think they will come. I think now you mentioned that about the bowl games. I mean the playoffs. They're on the same level. So yeah, we got blown out last year, but who's to say? I mean, FAM is riding a 7-game winning streak right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say if they may be one of the hottest teams in the country at the end of the year if they continue on their streak right now? So no, I've been thinking about playoffs for the last few weeks, saying, hey, could they get enough? Could they move up enough? But they're not getting enough. I don't hear the chatter outside like last year. So I don't know if people are paying attention.
I think it's coming, just like the chatter needs to pick up about Ken Riley getting voted into the Hall of Fame. That chatter needs to pick up too. That needs to pick up.
INSiiGHTS now has its own Roku channel. INSiiGHTS itself is a dream maker, providing a platform for content creators. Go with INSiiGHTS Roku channel into 91 million homes. We are strengthening our programs that will continue to educate, entertain, and enlighten our viewers. We will still feature youth sports, Mick and Rick, INSiiGHTS Magazine, Remember the Legends, and much more. Stay tuned for our creative content. Appreciate your support.
On today's Remembering the Legends, we shine the spotlight on a man whose nickname is a perfect example of a person who set the pace and strived for perfection. Today, we pull back the curtains on former coach Arnett William Ace Mumford. Born November 26, 1898 in Buckhannon, West Virginia, Mumford graduated from Sumner High School and then Wilberforce University in 1924. That same year, he was named football coach at Jarvis Christian College in Hawkins, Texas, starting a 38-year career spanning 4 colleges: Jarvis, Bishop, Texas College, and Southern, as well as 3 sports. And although he coached track and field and had success in basketball, leading Southern to a Black College National Basketball Championship in 1941, it would be football where Mumford would make his mark. While at Texas College, Mumford's football teams won 2 conference championships and his first Black College National Championship before he moved on to Southern, where he would spend his final 25 years. Mumford's Jags teams won or shared 11 SWAC championships, and he led Southern to 5 Black National Championships. At one point, Mumford's Jags reeled off an impressive 38-game unbeaten streak. He also coached 4 undefeated seasons. He died in 1962, finishing his career with a record of 233, 85, and 23 ties. While honors were slow to come during the Jim Crow era, Mumford's achievements eventually came to light. In 2016, a historical marker was erected in his hometown in his honor. In 1992, Southern dedicated the reopening of its football stadium as the A.W. Mumford Memorial Stadium. Mumford was also named to ESPN's list of 150 greatest football coaches in college football history, and the American Football Coaches honored him with the Trailblazers Award. He is the first black coach to be inducted into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. He was also inducted into the National Football Foundation's College Football Hall of Fame, the Southern University Sports Hall of Fame, the SWAC Hall of Fame, West Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, Black College Football Hall of Fame, and the College Football Hall of Fame. A pioneer and trailblazer, Ace Mumford set the standard others would follow, especially in the SWAC. That is why he is a legend.
Rick. So now the time has come. It's play time, and teams gearing up for an opportunity to make it to the big dance. Some teams are going in on a high note. Others are limping their way into the tournament. But I've always said I would rather have the chance to compete than to be sitting at home. So with that, let's get to it. Now, if we're playing a game of good news and bad news, let's start with the bad news. Several of our playoff teams will go limping into the playoffs, and it starts with the Ricketts Raiders, as they were bested by Madison and squandering a home playoff game in the process, losing 28-21. Now, Lincoln showed some bounce back ability after being thrashed last week, only to come up a point short this week to Florida High by a final of 10-9. Monroe was toppled by perennial power Trinity Christian 54-21. Even JP2 was pummeled by Calvary Christian 39-0. Now, for those not in playoff action, FAMU DRS does what they do, getting popped by Port St. Joe 57-12. But Coach Williams did get 2 wins this year, so that is an improvement. Godby ended their season on a more sour note by being defeated by Milton 56-32, but the Cougars players and fans did get a treat by celebrating their 10th anniversary of state championship in 2012. Childs gashed Gadsden County, but unfortunately will be left outside looking in on the playoffs. It's a travesty. Those early season losses, though, did them in. But, Coach, we had 2 teams picking up their first wins of the year. Drum roll, please.
No.
Well, something like that. But Jefferson County, they defeated Liberty 24-14. So congratulations to Coach Footman and Leon. Leon. And Coach McGriff finally struck gold as they picked up their first win. 21-19 in a shocker over New Smyrna Beach, and dashed their playoff hopes. Over in South Georgia, Brooks pounded Pelham 56-14. And I'm sorry, Dr. Miller, but Mrs. Butterworth was sopped up with a biscuit by Bainbridge 53-20. So for the week, I finished 7-3, and for the season, 72-24. On the college front, Florida State took Miami to the woodshed and beat the absolute dog stew out of them 45-3. And our FAMU Rattlers took care of Southern 30-16. So this week, the playoff slate has Ricketts traveling to 9-0 Pensacola Pine Forest. It will be a tall task, but I will take the Raiders. Lincoln will travel to Columbia, and I'll take Columbia. Florida High will host South Walton and the Seminoles will be victorious. Wild Color travels to Pensacola Capital. We all know how that's going to end. One way or another, Pensacola is going to come out on top. Monroe and John Paul will battle next week, along with McClay and NFC. In South Georgia, Brooks will take on Bleckley County, and I'll take Brooks. Thomasville will take on Jackson. Saturday, no doubt. And let's go Bulldogs. And Cairo will take on Westside. In NCAA action, Florida State will travel to Syracuse, and the FAMU Rattlers will travel to the Taj Mahal of Black College Football Stadium and take on Alabama State University. See you next week.
INSiiGHTS now has its own Roku channel. INSiiGHTS itself is a dream maker, providing a platform for content creators. Go with INSiiGHTS Roku channel into 91 million homes. We are strengthening our programs that will continue to educate, entertain, and enlighten our viewers. We will still feature youth sports, Mick and Rick, INSiiGHTS Magazine, Remember the Legends, and much more. Stay tuned for our creative content. We will continue to appreciate your support.
Welcome to Todd's Talking, the National Football League Week 9 in review. Week 9 began down in Houston, where the Eagles beat Houston to go to 8-0. The Eagles started slow, but behind Jalen Hurts' 243 yards and 2 touchdowns, the Eagles keep the Texans at bay. The Texans fought gallantly, but they come up short. Eagles win 29-17. Miles Sanders was busy in this one also. He had 17 rushes for 93 yards and a touchdown. Damian Pierce had 27 carries and 139 yards in the losing cause. The Eagles remain unbeaten. Texans fall to 1-8. Dicker the kicker with the game-winning kick that lifts the Chargers over the Falcons 20-17. Chargers used 2 Dicker fourth-quarter field goals to seal the deal. Crazy finish in this one. The Chargers were driving for the game-winning score when they fumbled. The big fella from the Falcons scooped it up and ran it back for 30 yards, and then he had fantasies of being a real tailback and tried to make a move on a dude that wasn't even there and just dropped the ball without even being hit. The Chargers recovered the fumble, and a few plays later kicked the game-winning field goal. Cordell Patterson in his first game back had 2 touchdowns. Chargers 5-3, Falcons 4-5. Run, Joe, run. Ooh-wee. Joe Mixon ran for 158 yards, caught 4 passes for another 58 yards, and had 5, yes, I said 5 touchdowns, as the Bengals destroyed the Panthers 42-21. The Bengals led this one 35-0 at half. Mixon hadn't had a 100-yard game so far this year, but he had 113 yards at the half in this one. Baker Mayfield came off the bench in the second half and threw 2 touchdown passes that made the game look closer than it was. The Bengals win takes them to 5-4. The Panthers finish the day at 2-7. Elsewhere around the league, New England, behind a suffocating defense that had 9 sacks, crushed the Colts 26-3 and got the Colts coach fired. I bet it was some hooting and hollering going on in Corey's household on Sunday, because in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Jets shocked the league. Give credit to the Jets defense. Quentin Williams and the crew sacked Josh Allen 5 times and picked him off 2 more times. Held Josh Allen to 205 yards and no touchdowns passing. The Jets mustered up 20 points and hold Buffalo to 17. The Jets get back to their winning ways and win their 5th out of 6 and go to 6-3, and within a half a game of the division-leading Buffalo Bills, who fall to 6-3. New York JETS just blew Corey's midseason prediction all out the water. Down in Tampa, that featured a game between 2 teams that played to go to the NFC Championship last year, the Rams, behind this Cooper Kupp 69-yard touchdown, led 10-6 with less than 5 minutes left in the game. Then Tom Brady, who threw 58 passes for 280 yards, throws a touchdown pass with 9 seconds left. And Tampa Bay wins 13-10. This game had a crazy finish also. The Rams stopped the Bucs on 4th and go with under 2 minutes to go in the game. But then the Rams come out and go 3 and out and give the ball right back to Brady. And Brady went old Brady on them. Sorry about your luck, Rams. Tampa Bay improves to 4-5 and in first place in their division. The Rams fall to 3-5. In the nation's capital, Washington hosted the Vikings. Welcome back, Kirk Cousins. Cousins hit Jefferson with the touchdown pass on their first drive of the game, and then they didn't score another touchdown until with 7 minutes and 46 seconds left in the game. Washington had battled back to take a 17-7 lead, but the Vikings scored 13 fourth-quarter points and win 20-17. Vikings moved to 7-1. The Commanders' 4-game win streak comes to a halt, and they fall to 5-4. You like that? In a low-scoring affair in Detroit, the Packers' struggles continue. Detroit led this one 8-0 at the half, and Rodgers had 2 red zone interceptions in the first half. After a wild finish, the Lions hang on and defeat the Packers 15-9. Green Bay loses their 5th in a row to fall to 3-6, and the Lions win their 2nd of the season and are now 2-6. Elsewhere in Chicago, in a good one, Miami hangs on and squeaks by the Bears 35-32 for their 3rd straight win.
Good game.
Lots of stat stuffers in this one. Tua had 3 touchdowns, Ty Hill had 143 yards, and Justin Fields had 123 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 178 yards rushing, including a 61-yard touchdown run. Fields' 178 yards fell just 3 yards short of the NFL single-game rushing record for quarterbacks, which is held by Kaepernick. Now think about that tonight when you get down on your knees to pray. Fields was the first quarterback with at least 150 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns in a game since 1950. Miami moves to 6-3. The Bears fall to 3-6. I just want to say, though, for my boy Justin Fields, you are the man. In Arizona, Seattle defeats Arizona 19-9. Geno Smith continues to impress, and Kyler Murray and the Cards continue to struggle. Kenneth Walker had his 5th straight game with a touchdown, and 2 of them in this one, to go along with his 109 yards rushing. Geno Smith had 275 yards and 2 more touchdowns. MVP candidate? Murray arguing on the sideline for the 3rd week in a row. Something's not right. Seattle wins their 4th in a row to go 5-3. Arizona falls to 3-5. In Jacksonville, Raiders. Oh, the Raiders. The Raiders blew a 17-point lead for the 3rd time this year and lose 27-20 to Jacksonville. Devontae Adams had 9 catches, 149 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half. But Jacksonville bounced back and held him to 1 catch and 0 yards in the second half. The Jags stop a 5-game skid. Travis Etienne had 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. That kid's pretty good. This is his 3rd consecutive game with 100 yards. Trevor Lawrence's best game as a pro, 275 yards and 1 touchdown. Jacksonville improves to 3-6. The Raiders fall to 2-6. In a good game in Kansas City, the Chiefs hosted the Titans. Kansas City on their first 7 drives got Nathan. But then Mahomes got busy. He threw 68 passes for 446 yards and added 63 yards rushing. Malik Willis went 5 for 16 for the Titans. There'll be better days, Rook. Kansas City wins 20-17 in overtime to go to 6-2. Tennessee's 5-game winning streak is snapped and they fall to 5-3. Week 9 wrapped up in New Orleans, where Lamar Jackson and Kenyon Drake and the Ravens running game was just too much for New Orleans. The Ravens' 188 yards was their 8th straight game in a row with at least 150 yards rushing or more. Who does that? And on the other side of the ball, Baltimore had 4 sacks, with Justin Houston having 2.5 of those sacks and an interception. Baltimore's defense with their new addition, Roquan Smith, looks scary, real scary. Baltimore's 6-2, New Orleans is 3-6. Player to watch, Tariq Woolen, Seattle rookie safety, playing a big part in the surging Seattle Seahawks defense. Tariq has 31 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 touchdown, 8 passes defended, and he's amongst the league leaders with 4 interceptions. Tariq Woolen, doing it, and doing it well. That's a wrap. DGBD. Don't get beat deep. Next up, my man Earl.
That dude right there.
He does a pretty good job on the NFL show.
That dude right there. He cracks me up. Oh my gosh. He cracks me up.
I could tell. And him and Rick, because he started off a little slow. I was like, okay, he's not really into it today. Then it's like he heard me and picked it up.
Pick it up.
And he did. He did pick it up. So we were glad to see that he got back to his flamboyant self.
Well, I think he was celebrating that Dallas didn't play this week, so he was, we have to forgive him for that, I guess. But he woke up.
What he was?
He woke up.
I say he was missing Dallas, huh?
Yeah, he was a little down. He didn't know what to do.
Oh, he does do a good job with it. Now we had while we're on NFL, we got the Pick'em crew. They come in next week, and they're gonna be on the show because they were supposed to pick. You would be surprised who ended up being the closest to identify what their team would be like at the halfway point of the season. There were some crazy picks that we laughed and messed with people about, but at the end of the day, they ended up being pretty good. And Todd is just kind of running away with it. Didn't he claim that he wasn't going to submit some names?
Did I tell you, Coach? See, that we both knew that was just bull. We knew that. I'm a competitor. I think I'm just gonna sit out this week and let y'all catch up or try to catch up and then take it on in from there. Yeah, right.
I don't know if I'm more impressed with the fact that he kind of blew up or KC came back to earth, because for a while Kevin was kind of rolling pretty good, and now we got some people who weren't on the last week's show. We'll talk about them when they show up next week. They already turned their work request to be off next Wednesday because they had some shit to talk. So it will be interesting to see.
Oh, okay.
All right, then we had a good turnout, real good response from people about their top 3 sports movies. Did you have one that you really liked, Rick?
Yeah, I debated with this, and I know I sent you 3, but I left out the one, my favorite one. And my favorite sports movie of all time is Miracle on Ice. And it's about the document. It's the story of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team and their win over Russia. And every time I see that movie, I shed a tear, just because of the things that were going on in the late 70s, from gas prices high. Sounds familiar. Beef with Russia. Sounds familiar. But Russia, the hockey team was great, and they were crushing everyone. Big red machine. And these college kids came out and beat them and won the gold medal in the Olympics. And every time I see that movie, it's just, I love it. I'll watch it. If it pops on TV, I'll stop whatever I'm doing and watch that movie. My favorite movie of all time. But I just didn't put any real life movies on my favorites, like Ali and Miracle on Ice.
Here.
Say, really.
Any given Sunday. That's one of my movies.
All comes down to today. Either we heal as a team, or we're going to crumble. Inch by inch, play by play, till we're finished. We're in hell right now, gentlemen. Believe me. And we can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or
Get the shit kicked out of us.
we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell.
Jamie.
1 inch at a time.
1 inch.
Now, I can't do it for you. I'm too old. I look around, I see these young faces, and I think, I mean, I made every wrong choice a middle-aged man can make.
Got some names in there.
All my money,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Good actors.
I chased off anyone who's ever loved me. And lately, I can't even stand the face I see in a mirror.
I always like Al Pacino.
Oh my
You know,
goodness.
when you get old in life, things
He is something
get
else.
taken from you. I mean, that's part of life. But you only learn that when you start losing stuff. You find out life's this game of inches. So is football. Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch.
Yeah.
On this team, we tear ourselves
Lawrence Taylor.
and everyone else around us to pieces
Terrell
for that
Owens.
inch. We claw with our fingernails that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's going to make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. In any fight, it's the guy
Get off that
who's willing
juice.
to die who's going to win that inch.
He looked juiced up, didn't he?
I know if I'm going to have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. In front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy
Hell yeah.
who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's the team, gentlemen. And either we heal now as a team,
As a team.
or we will die.
As a
That's football, guys.
That's
It's football.
That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
The actors in this movie, they used a lot of Arena Football League players, some of which who I knew from the Orlando Predators and Tampa Bay Storm. It was just to make it more realistic, and that's why I like this movie. I liked it a whole lot.
I love this movie. It's my favorite one.
Really?
It's my favorite. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Above the rim, not far behind it now.
Oh, that soundtrack. Ooh.
Yeah. Above the rim, not far behind it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one too.
Okay.
But it was really, I mean, we really got outstanding response from people. And there were a lot of movies that, you know, we were just gonna take the top 3. We end up kind of with the top 5, and there was such a deadlock for number 4. I put them up here, but which one you think ended up being number one?
Coach Carter. No.
It's gonna take your ass too long.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers was tied for 4th place.
Wow.
Any Given Sunday was tied for 4th place. Jackie Robinson, Friday Night Lights. Those were the ones that were tied for 4th. And we probably had, we had almost 50 people respond. 3rd place, Coach Carter.
Strong movie, Sam. Mm-hmm.
3rd, Coach Carter. Number 2, Love and Basketball. Oh, my daughter loved that. I think she know every word to that one.
Good movie.
Number 1,
Remembering the Titans.
Remember the Titans. It was Remember the Titans probably garnered 40%, 50% of the. It probably garnered 40 or 50% of the vote. Remember the Titans.
Strong movie.
It might have been my number 3, but it got a lot of votes. And what was that? What did he tell him? He said, what did he say about leadership reflects leadership or something, Captain? You know, my daughter loved that part when they were on that part. You know, remember the Titans.
They were all good movies, all of them, and I can't take anything away from Remember the Titans. It was strong. Denzel. I mean, based on the true story, if I'm correct, right?
Yep, it was. Basketball team out of Virginia. I went to see it because the basketball team would get tripping. So my coach, that girl and Remember the Titans like your daughter.
Yeah.
I had no inclination to go see it. And they kept on so much that I eventually had to go see it. Just to throw some other ones out there that received votes. Creed, The Program, He Got Game, Rocky, Blindside, Brian's Song,
Strong,
Redeem Team, Dream Team, Hoop Dreams. I guess everybody was dreaming. White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Ruby.
Yeah.
I mean, there were, no matter if you like it or not, somebody else did.
Definitely. Oh,
they
definitely.
Were things in there, and I had really forgotten about them. You know, now that's really what kind of made it interesting was the people who kind of responded and put stuff up there that you really had forgotten all about.
Yeah.
You know, and you had. I mean, you couldn't help but forget about some of them. But when the people responded, I was like, wow, that's really pretty important. I mean, pretty significant that they gave us those names.
Yeah, Brian's Song, perfect example. Great movie. Rudy, another based off a true story. Great movie. I and forgot all about it. Didn't even cross my mind. That's why I said, because forgot, just didn't think about Rudy at all. And Brian's Song, that came out, I think, in the 70s, late 70s. And forgot about that as well.
But you would, because I mean, some of those, and then you kind of age yourself because some of them kind of went past you a little bit. You actually kind of like, wow, you know. And then some of the younger people, they had specific ones they liked, like Creed 3 or something like that. You know, they had a specific one. Creed, you know, Creed got its share as well.
Rocky follow-up.
Huh?
Following up on almost like one of those spin-offs from the Rocky movies. I think I saw the first Creed one, and I didn't see 2 or 3 yet. But they're on my list because I like Michael B. Jordan. They are on my list to watch.
See, like I said, it was interesting what we actually got people to respond to. It was really pretty interesting. Now, even more interesting was the fact that we had people who couldn't follow directions.
No.
They couldn't follow directions. And I was like, are you serious right now? They were really kind of confused with some of the things that they were putting up there. And I was like, did you not hear what we asked you to put up there? I mean,
yeah, man.
Huh?
Yeah. I heard you, man. But listen. Work with me here. Work with me.
That was your people. I mean,
no, they're your people. They're your people.
Oh.
I didn't see Ricky Bobby on there. Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. Ricky Bobby Ricky. What do you say? Second is the first loser or something like that. I don't know. I didn't see the movie, but everyone talks about Talladega Nights and those crazy movies.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the time for the end of this show. Once you remember, we rolling Claflin Athletic Show on Tuesdays at 7:00 and 4:00 on Roku TV, and appearing on Wednesday on Insights YouTube. We still have McClay Basketball Network opening up the Saturday Thanksgiving weekend with the Potter's House from Jacksonville coming over to play McClay. So we will actually have, you got some guys that are going to be in some of these games that will be playing at the next level. So we try to make you aware of them so you could go out and support these student athletes before they go off to college. They were right here in the city and right there at your computer top where you could see it. So it's no reason not to support one of the teams here, because we got people calling me and asking me about the talent that's coming up on some of these games. So we appreciate the fact that some people are kind of paying attention to it, that it's going to be an opportunity for them to be able to recruit some kids to their program. And that's always, we really do appreciate that. It's about the kids, always about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So in closing, we appreciate you being with us. And one thing you need to know, you'll start to hear more about it. We get to 2023, that'll be our 10th year Insights. 10th year. We will have been here 10 years. Rick Brown, and that's an accomplishment.
And to think, they said you wouldn't make it 1 year.
Right.
Let's go.
You know me. The more people tell me I can't do something, the more inclined I am to try to prove a point. I'm just that guy. Could have been leaving to go out the door. But you tell me to get the hell out. Oh no, I might sit down and stay till next week. Nah.
Skirt.
Right. Just to prove that point. That's how I would say. Exactly.
That's right.
Hey, y'all be careful now. Be safe. Hurricane Nicole is coming up. The Nicoles I know, they can get you straight. Coming in quick, leave, and let you know that they were there. Okay, here.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.com.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of MAC4 Enterprises, Florida Corporation. This broadcast is produced under exclusive ownership of MAC4 Enterprises. It is the intellectual property and trademark of MAC4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representation.
We appreciate y'all.
Till next week.
Till next week, Rick from Lakeland Legend.